and welcome to Talking COP, the brand new podcast from the University of Salford's sustainability, climate and environment experts, focusing on all things COP29. I'm Lily Mangan and we're broadcasting to you today from the Salford Business School's Media Suite on the Peel Park campus. Today, we're joined by Professor Mandy Parkinson, Professor of Business Innovation, here at the University of Salford Business School, to discuss all things sustainable innovation. Thank you for joining us today, Mandy.
Thanks, Lily. I'm looking forward to it.
So, to start off, we want to know, what should be front of mind when innovating sustainably?
So innovating sustainable sounds a bit like a buzzword, doesn't it? It's like, oh, is that another word we're going to throw out for businesses to understand? But it's really talking about how you rapidly change. So everything changes. We have incremental innovations, we innovate in lots of different ways, but it's how does our innovation impact on the planet and the people around us, so not just about our profits. And it's looking at about it in that way. And I think for a lot of our businesses and a lot of people in the community, we look at sustainable innovation and think, well, that's something else we've got to do on top of making sure we make money, making sure we're following all the legislation. So it's take it back a step and think about what you want to do differently. A really good example of that, I think, there was an American-based company, Interface, which was like a global leader on carpet flooring, for better description. And you're going back to like mid-90s, so probably before you were born, Lily. But what they did, which was quite pioneering at the time, was they launched something called Mission Zero Commitment. And if you've never seen the video called Beyond Mission Zero, have a look at it because it's really interesting. And what they did was they wanted to do things differently. They wanted to have zero emissions by 2020. So a lot before it became the flavour of the month and what we needed to do. And what happened then, and what's still true now, is it had to be a radical change of the whole business model. So not just about a board of directors or a chief exec thinking, okay, we want to do something more sustainable, but it was all levels of the business. So looking at how they're going to bring the culture of the business along, how they're going to bring the people along. And when you're thinking about sustainable innovation, that's absolutely what you've got to think. Your people, whether they be your stakeholders in the business, whether they be your stakeholders in the community, they're key to the decision you're making. So from a business perspective and from individuals' perspective for that matter, it's looking at it in terms of what does this change mean, not just from financial and regional development, but what does this change mean for the planet, for the people, for our communities. And if you get all three and you manage to make your innovation to cut all three, then that is sustainable innovation.
So what can businesses do to ensure that they're prioritising social responsibility when it comes to innovating sustainably?
There's loads of different things they could do, really. I think it's more about considering the social impact of the products and the services, looking at fairer labour practices, looking at promoting diversity and inclusion within their workforce, within their employees, looking at how they can support the communities and asking themselves how their innovation will affect people's lives and trying to work to create solutions that enhance that social well-being. So, for example, if your innovation is in renewable energies, you're not only reducing the carbon emission, but you've also got the potential to provide affordable, reliable energy to underserved communities. So what else can you be doing in those spaces? And similarly, if you think about healthcare technology, that can help make healthcare more accessible, more equitable, so you can use your innovation to make things different. And I think that's where sustainable innovation is important. If you think about it, if you're quite fashion conscious, so think about it in terms of the fashion industry, your businesses could prioritise their social responsibility by adopting fair trade products, looking at that supply chain. And it isn't just about what you're doing as a business, but it's what your whole supply chain is doing and what they're doing differently and how they could do differently. You can also think about things around looking at your ethical supply chain, but also looking at how you build that trust with consumers, because we need to be more transparent as businesses in terms of where our products are coming from, what we're doing, all those aspects. I think when you do it well and you communicate it well and you communicate what that can look like for industry, that's when it works better, and that's when the social responsibility ticks in. And I think absolutely avoiding it being a tick box and thinking, we've done this, so now we can say we're a socially responsible business, because that is tantamount to greenwashing, and our consumers are not stupid. They know what that is. So if you're looking for companies that you think do it well, Patagonia, amazing. They're transparent about everything that they do, and they communicate that out. They have opportunities to do circular economy in terms of having recycled products. And I think, going back to the example I gave you of Interface earlier, same thing. They had a bring it back carpet tile recycling. So there's all those opportunities, and that's how you can be socially responsible.
So in a digital age, what are the opportunities for businesses when it comes to adopting advanced technologies to innovate sustainably?
Leveraging technology is absolutely crucial when you're thinking about sustainable innovation. And advanced technologies such as AI, Internet of Things, blockchain, they're all enablers to make you more efficient, to help you with your resource management, help you look at reduced waste, look at that improving of transparency and the traceability of the supply chain. And I think, for instance, if you think about AI specifically, it can help you optimise your energy use. Okay, so it can help you look at your manufacturing process if you're in advanced manufacturing. It can help you think about what you want to do differently, what you're recording. You're able to pull down data that helps you make more informed decisions about your machines, when there should be downtime, when there should be uptime. It's about adopting them to offer numerous opportunities. Again, if you think about it from advanced efficiencies, which every business wants efficiencies, right? So they'll help you streamline your operations, they'll help you reduce your energy consumption, they'll help you minimise your waste. And examples are smart grids and energy management systems that a lot of businesses are having to put in. Whether you're a large business or a small business, you have to think about that. And it's about using that predictive maintenance data to help you drive that forward, and thinking about your cost savings of how that would work as well. I think just taking it back a step with the technology, it's always thinking about it as an enabler. How can it use differently? And it's back to what I said at the beginning about sustainable innovation is often incremental innovation, and it's using your technology to allow you to be more sustainable.
So for the sake of the businesses listening, what would you say the key takeaways are to innovate sustainably?
I mean, there's loads of different takeaways you could think about. I think understanding the regulations, and especially around sustainability, because those regulations are coming in more and more, and understanding what it means to you. So, for example, in the UK, we've got the streamlined energy and carbon reporting regulations, which is going to be more key to looking at how you report your carbon. Now, that's not for all businesses, and there's who's in scope and who isn't, but if you've got a £36 million turnover or a balance sheet of 18 million, or of around about 250 employees, which is probably a lot of our businesses, then you need to be aware of what that regulation is going to mean for you and actually adapt and be ready. And for time-poor businesses, that's a really big challenge, but absolutely something to understand and not be afraid of, because it's just about understanding how you can do things differently. And there are tools out there to help you with that. So here at Salford, we've recently launched a carbon calculator as part of our Innovation Labs programme. And there's other things like that can help you start to measure. So if you don't know how to start, then it's about looking at what's there and what you can do differently. I think it's also not being scared that sometimes if you have to make sustainable innovations, it might affect your bottom line, especially if you do want to be socially responsible, and taking that into effect and planning that into your forecasting of the changes you're going to make to your business model and what that can look like. And I think it's about, don't forget to connect with your stakeholders. That is the key takeaway. And that's your consumers, that's your investors, it's the regulatory people, and having those open communication with them about where you are as a business, where you're trying to go, because it's a journey. Nobody's expecting you to switch a switch tomorrow and say, okay, we're now a really sustainable, innovative business. It's that journey that you're going to go on, and use the stakeholders to help you.
Thank you for joining us today, Mandy.
Thank you so much for having me, Lily. I've enjoyed it.